Continuing from the previous episode 1050. These guys in the Xuanling royal family really don't die, Xiao Yan said with a slight sigh as he looked at the two teams of people fighting in the sky. Be careful, these people have different degrees of alien aura in their bodies. Although they cover up very well, they have already been infiltrated by the aliens. The Soul Eater talisman in Xiao Yan's body also said solemnly. Yes, Xiao Yan gently agreed, but Xiao Yan didn't notice that on the calm ancient ruler of strange fire, a trace of fiery aura slowly appeared, as if the ancient beast had awakened. The strength of these guys is a little wrong. Looking at the other side of the sky, the 10 members of the dragon-loving legion, who were arguing with swords, burst out, and White Fang said slowly. Qin Tian's strength was originally the pinnacle of Do Di, but now he has reached a 1-star Do Immortal, while Yi Mo's strength is only a 9-star Do Di, but he has also reached the half-immortal level. The strengths of the others have also skyrocketed. It seems that the collusion between the Xuanling royal family and the foreign evil clan is really deep. It's just that there is no definite evidence, otherwise, we must unite the power of the entire Zan Santient to crusade them. White Fang said slowly, and his breath also skyrocketed. Where is the Xuanling royal family? There are a 1-star Do Xian, a half-immortal, and 8 9-star Do dimensions, while in the Fenxiang Pavilion, there are only 2 half-immortals, and 2 9-star Do emperors. The sect competition has been witnessed by many sect disciples. What your Xuanling royal family did, but, Qin Tian, is it true that this emperor is afraid of you? After a while, circles of black and asterisk spread out from the sky like ripples on Zhu Jin's body. Zhu Jin, this king will not embarrass you. I will only take away the culprit, and leave the rest alone. I'll ask you one last time, do you want to be with Xiao Yan? Qin Tian's body slowly blended black and white, revealing a terrifying force that the world is afraid of, and said slowly to Zhu Jin, but the power is even stronger than that of Zhu Jin. I know why I ask. Although Zhu Jin looked at the huge number of people in the Xuanling royal family, he didn't show any fear, his aura never weakened, and he was drinking. Okay. Since this king was promoted to Do Xian, I haven't made a full shot. This time, I will let you see the gap between the real Do Xian strong and your half-immortal strong. Qin Tian heard the words and said immediately, his voice there is a monstrous arrogance in it that can no longer be concealed. Tianmeng, when Zhu Jin heard the words, he suddenly took a step forward, followed by a monstrous aura. Oh, everyone, this is Blood River Town, please. And when Zhu Jin and Qin Tian were about to start, an old voice drifted out from the sky. The person here is the guardian of the Blood River today, Lu He, the strong immortal warrior. Lu He, you'd better not intervene in the affairs of our Xuanling royal family. Otherwise, even if you are fighting immortals, you won't be able to eat well. Seeing this, Qin Tian said with a change of expression. Although Qin Tian has also stepped into Do Xian now, compared to Lu He, a powerhouse who has truly stepped into Do Xian for many years, he is still a little bit worse. Hey, Qin Tian, the head of the dragon-loving legion of the Xuanling royal family, I haven't seen him for a long time, and his strength has soared to the level of Do Xian. It really surprises me, but the words of this fairy are also put here. This is Blood River Town. The sect competition is based on strength. If you just rely on this matter, you want to take action against the disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion. This immortal is the first not to agree. And at the end of the sentence, an invisible terrifying force soared directly from his body. This ** old guy, relying on his good relationship with Fen Tian, forced his way forward. Sooner or later, you will feel better. But fortunately, I have a backup move. Qin Tian smiled when he heard the words, and then a thin figure slowly appeared in the air of the formation. And with the appearance of this figure, Xiao Yan's face below was unsightly. Damn. It actually left a hidden danger. When Xiao Yan first saw the thin figure in the sky, he knew that Qin Tian's 10 people had come prepared. This skinny figure was one of the people who killed Xuan Mu and his group back then. Xiao Yan clearly killed all of them at the beginning, but he didn't expect that he would still be blinded by this guy. Big brother, what's the matter? Xiao Yi also looked at the thrilling scene in the sky, but she suddenly noticed the vindictive aura in Xiao Yan's body and asked. Today's matter. I'm afraid it's going to be troublesome. Xiao Yan said in a deep voice. He knew that if the news of killing Xuan Mu leaked out, I'm afraid Zhu Jin and his party would not be able to protect themselves. Let's be adaptable, don't worry, there are us too. The 7 people in the Heavenly Palace also knew why Xiao Yan was so worried and said. Hopefully. Xiao Yan gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice. If the Xuanling royal family really pushes them, even if they are in danger of falling, they will turn the Xuanling royal family upside down. Qin Tian, what are you doing? Zhu Jin watched Lu He take action, and his heart was slightly calm, but when he saw a figure beside Qin Tian appeared, his heart beat abruptly. Let's not talk about the sect competition. We have something we want to ask junior brother Xiao Yan from Fenxiang Pavilion to agree. Qin Tian finished speaking, a bright smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Say, who is the guy who killed our Xuanling royal family's 3rd prince, Xuanmu? Qin Tian said slowly to the figure in front of him. It's Xiao Yan. The figure was too frightened and said directly. What nonsense. Qin Tian, don't spit on people here. Who doesn't know that Xuanmu is surrounded by experts like Yun, Xiao Yan's strength in the middle stage of the 7-star Dou Emperor? How can he kill him? If you want to find an excuse, you can't find a better one. Zhu Jin heard that, although she was extremely shocked, she still said quietly. Ha ha ha, I expected this to happen at your burning incense pavilion. Break me. At the next moment, Qin Tian seemed to have premeditated. An attack landed directly on the figure, and then the figure turned into bursts of milky white light. And above that light, a shocking scene slowly replayed in the sky. This is the memory flow back at the cost of giving up one's life. It can perfectly present the truth of the matter. It's troublesome now. Seeing the replay of Xiao Yan and Xuanemu's group on the milky white light, the figures in the room couldn't help holding their breaths. Alas, as expected, there are still some clues left. Get ready to work hard. Xiao Yan helplessly shrugged and smiled, and then the aura in his body surged wildly. Continuing from the previous episode 1051. As the figure gave up his life and presented a memory flow backwards, all the figures in Shuihe town held their breaths, because they clearly saw the shocking pictures, in which Xuanmu was completely destroyed by Xiao Yan. Obliterate. Gotcha. And that memory flowback perfectly showed the entire process of Xiao Yan's killing of Xuanmu. It's impossible to have a false memory, but although Xuanmu and his party made mistakes first, but Xiao Yan really killed Xuanmu, I'm afraid this matter is not so easy to solve. After all, Xuanmu has already been named the next Xuanling king. Above the attic, Wudu and Shuki, 2 women, shook their heads slightly. They could clearly see the whole process of Xiao Yan's killing Xuanmu from the light. Xiao Yan is still a disciple of the Fenxiang Pavilion. As long as he is under the protection of the Fenxiang Pavilion, with the character of Fen Tian protecting his shortcomings, he will definitely not let anything happen to him. But looking at this situation, the Xuanling royal family intends to fight the Fenxiang Pavilion to the end. If the Fenxiang Pavilion insists on protecting Xiao Yan, I am afraid it will cost a lot. After all, the Xuanling royal family does not know why its strength has skyrocketed. The overall strength of the Fenxiang Pavilion is not equal to the Xuanling imperial family. Wudu said in a deep voice. You don't know him. According to what the girl Yueru said, this guy will never do anything that will drag others down. Now, let's see if Fenxiang Pavilion is reluctant to stand up for this little guy named Xiao Yan, although the price may be even heavier. Shu Qi shook her head slightly, obviously already aware of the seriousness of the matter. Junior brother. And in the sky, after watching the scene of Xiao Yan killing Xuanmu in the reverse scene of the light, Mu Tianyuan was suddenly dumbfounded. He knew that it was Xuanemu's fault in the first place, but Xuanemu's identity was special, so being killed by Xiao Yan, I am afraid that the Xuanling royal family would not let it go. Zhu Jin, at this moment, what else do you have to say? I was ordered by my king to come to arrest the culprit who killed Xuanmu. If you insist on blocking it, then the final result will be the war between the 2 pavilions. Qin Tian was so arrogant that he drank directly at bamboo ash, as if he was winning. I said, as long as he is a disciple of my Fenxiang Pavilion for 1 day. Then we teachers will protect him for 1 day. Seeing the memory flowing back in the sky that cannot be faked, Zhu Jin closed his eyes tightly. Vicissitudes emerged. Obviously his words could not be more obvious. Fenxiang Pavilion's current strength cannot afford to fight against our Xuanling royal family. Zhu Jin, you have to think about whether it's worth it to completely tear up your face with our Xuanling royal family for such a guy. Qin Tian was not in a hurry, and forced Zhu Jin step by step. Said, I believe Zhu Jin knows the seriousness of the matter. Hoo, it's really insignificant power. Xiao Yan below looked at the extremely intense battle in the sky, but shook his head slightly. Xiao Yan knew that, as beings of the level of Fen Tian and Zhu Jin, he considered not only the tens of thousands of disciples of the sect, but also the countless forces that depended on the sect. Openly tore his face with the Xuanling royal family. After all, it was related to the lives of tens of thousands of disciples behind him. No matter what decision you make, I will follow you. Seeing Xiao Yan muttering suddenly, Mu Yingying also approached Qianying in Xiao Yan's direction. Don't worry, I will send your brother back to you safely. Xiao Yan laughed, but he mistakenly thought that Mu Yingying's actions were just for Yanqi, but he didn't know that it was for her own selfish desires. After all, Mu Yingying did this for Yanqi's sake. Yingying has some special feelings for Xiao Yan. Big brother, Xiao Yi also knew the seriousness of the matter and said solemnly. When the killing of Xuanmu was revealed, the Xuanling royal family would undoubtedly regard Xiao Yan as a thorn in its side and must be eliminated, and if Xiao Yan hid behind the burning incense pavilion, it would undoubtedly implicate many innocent disciples. According to Yan's understanding, Xiao Yan would definitely not be like this. Xiao Yan, and looking at the huge scene in the sky, all the disciples of Fenxiang Pavilion, Lingxuan, Qinxin, Mu Feng, and the 7 people from the Heavenly Palace, all looked at Xiao Yan. In the past, it was all done by me, Xiao Yan, and has nothing to do with the Fenxiang Pavilion. Xiao Yan's figure suddenly swept away, directly lifted into the sky, and then his loud voice slowly swept the entire sky. Ha, Xiao Yan, it's too late for you to say this at this moment. Seeing that Xiao Yan was forced to stand up, Qin Tian's face suddenly burst into laughter at the same time. Today, no matter who comes, nothing can change this situation. It's not too late. Xiao Yan's pupils exuded a strong aura, then turned slightly and looked at Zhu Jin and his party. Peeved. At the focal point of countless gazes in Shuihe town, Xiao Yan knelt down in the air and bowed, facing Zhu Jin and his party, and saluted the highest standard of disciples of the Burning Incense Pavilion. Mu Zuzi's deputy hallmaster, White Fang's hallmaster, Shang Yuan's deputy hallmaster, and teacher Zhu Jin. Thank you very much for your teachings to the disciples over the years, and the disciples will keep them in mind. Xiao Yan knelt down and bowed, the corners of his mouth moved slightly. You. Seeing Xiao Yan's behavior, Zhu Jin and the 4 were immediately shocked. They all knew what Xiao Yan's actions meant. I, Xiao Yan, voluntarily leave the Burning Incense Pavilion from this moment onwards, and everything I do in the future has nothing to do with the Burning Incense Pavilion. Xiao Yan finished speaking, his forehead kowtowed to the 4 Zhu Jin and the distant Burning Incense Pavilion. Xiao Yan's voice, like a thunderbolt, suddenly resounded through the entire Blood River town, making the restless space suddenly quiet. Senior brother Xiao Yan. Looking at Xiao Yan, who made such an amazing move in the sky, the blood in the bodies of the hundreds of Fenxiang Pavilion disciples below was boiling. They knew that Xiao Yan did this because he didn't want to the fact that he killed Xuanmu himself and started a real war with the Xuanling royal family, because that kind of war would make innocent people like them implicated. Xiao Yan, how dare you withdraw from the sect without my permission? And Zhu Jin was also surprised by Xiao Yan's actions for a moment, and then he shouted at Xiao Yan with a livid face. Old Zhu, thank you for these years. If there is a chance in the future, tell the pavilion owner for me. I promised the pavilion owner, and I did it. Xiao Yan finished everything, then suddenly raised his forehead and said to Zhu Jin. Bastard. Zhu Jin couldn't help cursing when everyone heard the words. However, before everyone's scolding came to an end, the 10 members of the Dragon-Loving Legion, led by Qin Tian, turned into 10 dazzling rays of light, and shot directly at Xiao Yan. Xiao Yi. Do it. At this moment, Xiao Yan's pupils also showed blood, and a shocking aura permeated the air. A battle is about to begin. Continuing from the previous episode 1052. Ha. Hello, Xiao Yan. Heaven has a way. You don't go. Asterisk has no door. You break in. Although you retreated from the sect to protect the people in the Fenxiang Pavilion, you will die today. Qin Tian burst into laughter when he saw Xiao Yan's actions. Qin Tian, don't go too far. 10 members of the Dragon Addiction Legion deal with a single disciple. If this matter is passed back, I'm afraid you will lose face. Bai Ya, who was watching Xiao Yan's actions, couldn't help defending him. Road. Humph. Bai Ya, since Xiao Yan has withdrawn from the burning incense pavilion, we have nothing to do with you in arresting the murderer who killed Prince Xuanmu. If you are blocking it, then we are the enemy of our Xuanling royal family. Go! Catch this little asterisk alive. At the end of the sentence, Qin Tian shouted loudly, and the dazzling fighting chi turned into a shocking force and swept out. As Qin Tian's voice fell, the 10 members of the Dragon Addiction Legion turned into 10 fiery red rays of light, and in just one breath, they completely wrapped Xiao Yan. Old Zhu, what should we do now? It is absolutely impossible to let Xiao Yan fall like this. Looking at the 10 members of the Dragon-Loving Legion, Mu Shuji hurriedly said. Xiao Yan's current strength is only in the middle stage of the 7-star Do Emperor. With the addition of Xiao Yi's strength that is approaching the peak of Do Emperor, in any case, these two will not be the opponents of the 10 members of the Dragon-Loving Legion. Little bastards, let's catch them. After Qin Tian surrounded Xiao Tuantuan, they didn't do it the first time. After all, these people were absolutely confident in their own strength. Even if they were any of the 10 people, they could easily kill Xiao Yan. The old dog of the Xuanling royal family. Xiao Yan said slightly, and then his eyes glanced directly at the 10 people. On the 10 people, the terrifying fluctuations became more intense. Big brother, it's not suitable to stay here for a long time, let's leave first. Xiao Yi and Xiao Yan were surrounded by Qin Tian's 10 people, and then back to each other, their eyes were equally vigilant. Among these 10 people, there are only 3 who are stronger than Xiao Yi, but Xiao Yi alone cannot cope with so many strong people, so she said. It's not advisable to stay here for a long time, but if you want to escape from these guys, it's probably more difficult than going to the sky. As the voice fell, the dazzling power of life and death suddenly emerged from Xiao Yan's body. Oh, the mere midterm strength of the 7-star Do Di has actually given birth to the power of death. If you let you grow like this, I'm afraid. Looking at the black and white Do Qi energy on Xiao Yan's body, Qin Tian muttered. This little power is not enough. Xiao Yan felt the dazzling power in his body, and then spoke slightly. He knew that if he only had this power today, he might not escape bad luck. Holy flame, come out! After a while, Xiao Yan's pupils turned into a khaki yellow color, and from it, a khaki yellow flame suddenly burst out all over Xiao Yan's body. Holy Yan! Yi Mo also noticed the familiar fluctuations in Xiao Yan's body, and said slowly. This guy, what is he doing? Seeing this, the disciples of the Fenxiang Pavilion below saw their blood surging. They didn't know why Xiao Yan didn't run. This guy, you actually want to combine the power of life and death with holy flame. On the other hand, Zhu Jin looked at Xiao Yan's actions and spoke in surprise. This kind of action, let alone the Xuanling continent, has never appeared on other continents. However, if the fusion is successful, then the power of the two is enough to shake a true fighter of immortals. Fusion power. Although the fusion of the power of life and death and the power of holy flame can give off a new kind of power, but if it fails, I am afraid that this kid will have a very miserable end. Forget it. Help him at a critical moment. The Soul Eater talisman in Xiao Yan said slightly. But it's strange, it seems that the strong men of the Medusa family are coming here. Is it an illusion? Soul Eater said in a deep voice, and then went down. Head of the regiment, let's do it, things will change later. Yi Mo, who was beside him, looked at Xiao Yan who was still struggling, and said eagerly. The exposure of the sect competition has already made the super sect powerhouses suspicious of their Xuanling royal family. No hurry, I want to see what tricks this kid can come up with. Qin Tian seemed to be attracted by Xiao Yan's actions, and said. Oh, Yi Mo didn't speak immediately after hearing this. Brother, are you sure? It really doesn't work. I use that thing. I believe it can help us get out of trouble. Xiao Yi, who was beside Xiao Yan, said softly. Don't worry, be sure. Facing Xiao Yi's concern, Xiao Yan smiled. Xiao Yan naturally knew what that thing was, and that thing was Xiao Yi's reincarnation seal. The seal of samsara was almost planted when the great power of the Great Thousand Worlds was reincarnated. If it were exposed, I am afraid that Xiao Yi would not end up much better than Xiao Yan. I can temporarily stop the other 7 9-star Do Emperors, but I can't take the 2 Do Xian and the top Do Emperor 3. Xiao Yi said solemnly, "Don't worry, leave it to me. Even if they die, I will drag them to hell." After Xiao Yan finished speaking, the incomparably huge force of life and death in his body burst out directly, and the incomparably pure khaki holy flame also emerged. "I hope you won't let me down. Now I can only rely on you." Xiao Yan held the dazzling power of life and death and the power of holy flame in his left and right hands, and said softly. After a short while, Xiao Yan's body burned at a high speed, and his left and right hands were slowly gathering together under the watchful eyes of everyone. This guy, is he crazy? From ancient times to the present, I haven't heard of the fusion of the power of holy flame and the power of life and death. Mu Shuji, who stepped aside, couldn't help saying, "Either become a pioneer, or fall." And there was a hint of loss in Zhu Jin's pupils, obviously hesitating about something. Crash! As Xiao Yan slowly gathered the power of holy flame and the power of life and death in the sky, bursts of dazzling energy from heaven and earth suddenly gathered from all directions, and then poured into the 2 forces without a trace. Give it to me. Xiao Yan could feel the unruly pride in the power of holy flame, and the unwilling resistance to be swallowed up in the power of life and death, immediately running the burning rule, a trace of mysterious power, constantly weakening the repulsive force between the 2. Boom boom boom. With Xiao Yan's move, in a short while, the power of the khaki flame and the power of black and white life and death actually slowly merged in his hands. With the fusion of the 2 forces, a tiny light spot containing 3 colors of yellow, black and white condensed on the sky. In that light spot, there was a wave that even the powerhouses at the peak of Do Di were somewhat afraid of. Slowly emerged. This fluctuation is even more terrifying than the lotus of annihilation condensed by Xiao Yan's strange fire. Birthday beam, breaking life and death. And Xiao Yan, after condensing this terrifying offensive, directly raised his hands and smashed at Qin Tian and his party viciously. Continuing from the previous episode 1053, it's a very strong attack. Qin Tian laughed as he watched this terrifying attack swept towards him. The ball of life and death. Break it for me. And Qin Tian looked at this terrifying attack, and stomped directly in front of him, and then a black and white energy ball that blended the power of life and death burst out directly from his body, and then no longer hesitated. Yes, it whizzed away with the 3-color light spot. Crash! Following Qin Tian and Xiao Yan's terrifying attack, the entire sky of the teleportation formation was filled with extremely violent fluctuations, as if it could not bear such a strong energy. Peefed! After a while, the 3-color light spot and the black and white energy ball finally reached the stalemate, and then turned into a sky full of powder and drifted away. Sure enough, the strength gap is too obvious. Xiao Yan watched the life and death beam that he finally merged successfully was easily cracked by Qin Tian, and a helpless smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Xiao Yan, I have to say, you are very talented. This attack is very strong. If your strength is equal to mine, I'm afraid I will completely fall on the move just now. But unfortunately, the strength gap between us is too huge, and you don't have that chance. Follow me back to the Xuanling royal family. As for your crime of killing the prince of the Xuanling royal family, it will be executed after the decision of the worship hall. Qin Tian said with a smile. Ha ha ha, old Qin Tian, if you want to arrest my eldest brother, you must pass me first. Before Xiao Yan could make a sound, the figure of Xiao Yi next to him burst out and attacked Qin Tian directly. Xiao Yi knew that with the strength of the 10 members of the Dragon Addiction Legion, I am afraid it would not be so easy to escape today. A fire elf with fire element. Although it's not as good as Schengen, it's a good thing to take you back. After Qin Tian finished speaking, a strange power suddenly appeared in the space around him. Emperor Flame Sword. In the next moment, as many as 23 different colors of fire swept out of Xiao Yi's body, and on the palm of his hand, there was a gorgeous giant sword with 23 special runes. Appear slowly. With the appearance of this gorgeous giant sword, a heavy force of flame appeared in the entire sky, suppressing everyone's hearts. Although your current strength has almost reached the peak of Do Di. But the difference between the peak of Do Di and the real Do Xian is not a little bit. Qin Tian shouted loudly, and the dazzling black and asterisk appeared on his body. Call, get ready to go all out. Xiao Yi spit out a scorching flame from her mouth, and then squeezed the Emperor Flame Sword tightly with her palm, staring at Qin Tian vigilantly. What is the Emperor Flame Sword? Xiao opened his mouth slightly when he saw this. With Xiao Yan's perception, it was not difficult to find the terrifying aura on the Emperor Flame Sword. Xiao Yan naturally didn't know that Emperor Yan, which was formed by the fusion of 23 kinds of different fires, could call out such a tyrannical weapon as the Emperor Yan sword. Looks like he is desperate. Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Yi with such a solemn expression on his face, and knew the seriousness of the matter. The two Saint Flame crystals in his hands were tightly held by him. On one side is the Holy Flame Crystal of Huoxin Tianyan, and on the other is the Holy Flame Crystal of Ghostface Soul Flame. Although Xiao Yan has not devoured Ghostface Soul Flame yet, to a certain extent, Xiao Yan can use its power more or less. Boy, I won't waste my words with you. Go and arrest Xiao Yan, give this guy to me. Take it. Seemingly sensing the unkind eyes of others around him, Qin Tian didn't intend to give Xiao Yan and Xiao Yi a chance to breathe, so his figure exploded and attacked Xiao Yi. Noisy guy. At this moment, Xiao Yi held the Emperor Flame Sword in her hand, and the gorgeous flames all over her body intertwined it into a real Flame King. Dian. Slash. Seeing Qin Tian roaring towards her, Xiao Yi didn't hesitate at all. She directly raised the mysterious Emperor Yan sword and slashed towards Qin Tian. Immediately, a huge, sky-shattering flame sword light attacked Qin Tian directly. Above the sword light, dozens of mysterious runes faintly exuded extraordinary fluctuations. Shabu. Seeing this, Qin Tian frowned. Obviously, even with his current strength of fighting immortals, he found the terrifying fluctuations above the sword glow, and immediately activated the power of life and death in his body, and directly resisted it. Big brother, while Xiao Yi's attack was temporarily stopped by Qin Tian, the other 9 members of the Dragon-Loving Legion swept past Xiao Yi and attacked the extremely weak Xiao Yan. These bastards! Seeing this, Xiao Yi couldn't help but scolded. Xiao Yan had just cast the life and death beam, and almost half of the power in his body had been consumed. In this way, facing a half-immortal and 8 9-star fighting emperors from the Dragon-Loving Legion, the strong man, I'm afraid it is the real dead end. Old bamboo, if this goes on, Xiao Yan will definitely die. Mu Shuji, who had retreated to the side, couldn't help but said when he looked at the 9 people who were besieged by Xiao Yan. I know, but the strength of the 4 of us is not the opponent of the Dragon-Loving Legion, and if we make a move, I am afraid that it is not only us who are involved. Zhu Jin also said weakly. Help him once at a critical moment, as long as he can get out of here. The next moment, looking at the extremely angry people around him, Zhu Jin opened his mouth. You'd better take care of yourself first. Not moving like a mountain. The next moment, seeing the terrified face on Xiao Yi's body, Qin Tian smiled and said the voice just fell, and an incomparably huge attack directly pierced through Xiao Yi's sword beam. Yi can only temporarily abandon Xiao Yan's side and concentrate on dealing with Qin Tian. Xiao Yan, it's over. Yi Mo brought 8 members of the Dragon-Loving Legion to Xiao Yan's side, surrounded him, and said something slightly. Hoo-hoo. Xiao Yan's breath was a little hurried, because he didn't know how much power could be produced by rashly merging the 2 sources of holy flame, and whether he still had a chance to survive, but this was the only way at the moment. Shoot! Seeing that Xiao Yan was about to be captured, White Fang said in a deep voice, and the Do Qi in his body suddenly soared. Wait, there is a situation. When Bai Yamu Shuji and the others were about to make a move, a rebellious aura suddenly permeated Xiao Yan's body. Ha ha ha! Is the old dog of the Xuanling royal family going to bully the young like this? When Yi Mo was about to capture Xiao Yan, a shocking laughter was scattered throughout the space. Who is it? Yi Mo noticed this scene and exclaimed directly, because just relying on this laughter made him feel terrified. This is. At the same time when Xiao Yan heard this voice, the ancient ruler with a different fire behind him shot up into the sky, and then the 2 holy flame crystals in his hands fell silent. Your grandfather Long Yi is also. Under the gazes of countless surprised eyes, among the dense clouds in the sky, a silver dragon with a length of more than 100 meters, covered with thick silver dragon scales, undaunted by the breath of heaven and earth, he suddenly opened his mouth. Continuing from the previous episode 1054. Dragon Clan? Looking at the huge silver dragon in the cloud and mist, Yi Mo's heart couldn't help but be vigilant. At the level of Banxian fighting Immortal, he knew the strength of this time just by looking at it. Weak. And obviously, the strength of this silver giant dragon is stronger than that of Yi Mo Banxian, so there is only one possibility. Do Xian, the dragon family has been the representative of the ultimate power since ancient times, and the Golden Dragon King can be said to stand at the top of the pyramid of power, so even if it is the same level of fighting Immortal strength, humans may not necessarily be the opponents of the dragon family. Your Excellency is a dragon. Why do you want to interfere with our human affairs? If this matter spreads out, I'm afraid it won't be good for your reputation. Seeing this, Yi Mo lost his previous arrogance and said respectfully. After all, everyone knows that the Dragon Clan is most interested in reputation and confidence in one's own strength. And let's not say that the genuine fighting Immortal strength of the silver dragon in front of him makes everyone jealous. Ha ha ha, yellow-mouthed child. This guy has a gift for this king, and I must save him today. Long Yi also turned into a handsome-looking man before everyone's eyes, and said to Yi Mo in a gentle manner. Asshole. To be able to directly transform human beings, he really is a real warrior of Immortals. Yi Mo's pupils became dignified when he saw this scene, because he knows that a strong fighting Immortal is enough to change this one-sided situation. Isn't Long Yi a soul body? How could it be? And Xiao Yan looked at the tyrannical Long Yi in the sky, but shook his head. Obviously even he didn't know. Hey, little guy. You don't know anything about this. The dragons are different from your humans. Although you are also reduced to a soul body, you humans must refine your body to be reborn. The dragon family is different, because the dragon family is the representative of strength and destruction. If you use the way you humans refine your body, even if you are resurrected, you won't be able to inherit their powerful power. That's why the dragon race took another shortcut. Although they were reduced to soul bodies, as long as they happened by chance, they could directly cultivate the dragon body with their own power, and achieve a true rebirth from the cocoon. And the reason why your Kai Ling has directly transformed from a soul body into a real dragon body now is probably related to your previous Golden Dragon King, who left something for Long Yi before he left. But the current Long Yi, I am afraid that his strength is only in the late stage of 1-star Do Xian. After all, even if he already has a dragon body, but there is no real dragon blood infusion, his strength is still extremely weak. When Xiao Yan was puzzled, Soul Eater said, "So it is." Xiao Yan was relieved when he heard the words, because Xiao Yan was the owner of the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng. Ever since Long Yi just woke up and turned into a human figure, Xiao Yan noticed that it seemed that Long Yi and the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng were inseparable from each other. The connection was interrupted, and Dushan Longyu was already a real dragon at this time, not the ruler of the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng. However, the current form is not optimistic. Although Long Yi's strength is strong, he doesn't dare to stay for too long. After all, dragon blood and dragon scales are treasures all over the dragon family. You humans are much more greedy. According to my estimation, Long Yi should be able to stop Banxian Yi Mo and the 2 9-star fighting emperors. As for the other 6 9-star fighting emperors, I am afraid it will still be a big trouble. The Soul Eater analyzed, after all, if Xiao Yan falls, I am afraid that the fate of Soul Eater will not be much better. Senior, if you take action, Xiao Yan said in a deep voice, I can kill these other 8 9-star fighting emperors. But you have to be clear that this is Zan Santian. With the hostile relationship between Xuanxin and the Ghost World, if I take action, I am afraid that you will become the enemy of the entire Xuanxin, and things will probably be more troublesome than now. Soul Eater said, those 6 people, I'll find a way. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, he calmed down quietly. The core inscriptions of the divine movement in his body continued to condense, and now he has only this way. Zanming, look at the 2 of you and follow me to stop this silver dragon. The other 6 people, mainly the core, will arrest Xiao Yan. Remember, you have to catch them alive. Seeing this, Yi Mo could only speak. Among the Dragon Addiction Core, Zanming ranks 3rd, and now his strength is at the peak of Do Di, while Qing Mu ranks 4th, and he's also a powerhouse who has stepped into the 6th rank in 9-star Do Di. Such a tyrannical 3 can be considered against Long Yi. Look up to him. Humph. Dragon-loving legion in a mere desire to move the person your grandfather Long Yi wants to protect? Long Yi heard the words and saw that the division of labor of the dragon-loving legion was clear, and couldn't help but said in a mocking tone. Long Yi knew that he was able to break through from the soul body to have a real dragon body, all of which came from the help of the Golden Dragon King, and the relationship between the Golden Dragon King and Xiao Yan was not ordinary. If Xiao Yan has 3 strengths and 2 weaknesses, I am afraid Long Yi will the Golden Dragon King Longjing was all taken down. It seems that today, your plan is not so easy. Xiao Yi, who was constantly dealing with Qin Tian in the distance, smiled when he saw Long Yi wake up. You still take care of yourself. I see how long you can hold on. After Qin Tian finished speaking, his figure exploded, and he launched a sky-shattering attack on Xiao Yi, and the Emperor Flame Sword in Xiao Yi's palm also became bleak under Qin Tian's attack. Do it, Yi Mo said in a deep voice, and then, with Zan Ming, the two of them turned to form a triangular siege and attacked Long Yi. It's too much. Long Yi looked at the 3 men with no fear at all. A silver halo slowly spread from his feet. Boom! When Yi Mo and the 3 surrounded Long Yi with a triangle, a silver dragon surrounded by lightning suddenly appeared in the pupils of the 3. Thunder Dragon Tail. Long Yi turned into a dragon body. Not only the defense greatly increased, but also the strength and destructive power to a higher level. As soon as Long Yi's voice fell, on the dozens of feet of Dragon's Tail, there was a tingling dense thunder which shot directly at the 3 of them. Shabu shabu. Wherever the Thunder Dragon's tail passed, there were explosions everywhere, and a trace of small thunder still remained in the sky, but the discerning person knew that, don't look at this extremely small thunder, it was enough to easily hit something that kills a 9-star duty powerhouse. Peeved. Yi Mo thought that Long Yi's Thunder Dragon Tail was so tyrannical, he didn't have time to defend himself, and was directly injured by him, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. Damn beast. Yi Mo spurted out a mouthful of blood, but the blood was not blood red, but black and red, which was rather strange. Drug Core, come back. Lie Addiction Dragon Formation, slaughter this beast for me. Just as Yaoxin's 6 people were about to attack Xiao Yan, Yi Mo's voice was like thunder, and he said directly. The 6 Yaoxin had to give up besieging Xiao Yan temporarily, because they knew that if Qin Tian or Yi Mo failed, even if they captured Xiao Yan, they would probably return without success. Little devil? Are you all right? Long Yi succeeded with a single strike, came directly to Xiao Yan's side, and opened his mouth slightly. Senior Long Yi, I'm fine. It's this time, trouble. Xiao Yan said with a hint of apology on the corner of his mouth. Don't worry, with me here, no one dares to touch you here. Long Yi said rather domineeringly. Etc. Senior? Call me Big Brother. At the end of the sentence, Long Yi said to Xiao Yan.